You know the advice. I mean, we all know the advice.
Oh, yeah.
If you've been a parent or really just a person in the world for the last, 20 years, you've heard it a million times.
Teach your kids to code.
If you want that kid to have a secure future, teach them to code. It was the golden ticket.
It was the safe bet, the way you guaranteed a good, stable career.
Right. But here we are. It's January 2026, and the world looks very different than it did even a few years ago. AI is writing everything, and that includes code.
A lot of code.
So the question that's just hurting a lot of parents' brains right now is that advice, is it actually setting kids up for a career that might not even exist?
Are we teaching them to be blacksmiths in the age of the Model T?
Exactly.
Are we? It's the billion-dollar question. And honestly, blacksmith might be a little too generous if we're not careful.
Ooh.
But look, the source material we're digging into today tackles this head-on. It's a new article by Johan Steyn called Coding Foundations in the Age of AI.
And Steyn knows his stuff. He's a big voice in AI.
He is, but what I love about this piece is he's writing it as a dad.
That's the hook for me, too. He's looking at his own 12-year-old son and thinking, what on earth do I tell you to do now?
He's grappling with the idea that his own advice might be obsolete. And to figure this out, we're not just taking his word for it. We've pulled data from Reuters, Business Insider, Tom's Hardware, IT Pro.
All from late 2025 into this month, so it's fresh.
Very fresh.
So our mission for this deep dive is to cut through all that noise, move past the yelling of everyone must learn Python versus AI makes coding pointless.
The binary trap.
Yeah, and figure out what literacy actually looks like for the next generation, because I have a feeling it's not about memorizing where to put a semicolon anymore.
Oh, it's definitely not about the semicolon. If that's what you're focused on, you've already lost.
Okay, so let's get into that trap. Steyn lays out these two competing stories parents are being sold. First, you've got the old guard. The software is eating the world camp. They're still saying, if your 7-year-old isn't building a website, they're already behind.
And that's still a powerful narrative because, look, it was true for a very long time.
It was.
But then you get the other side, the AI maximalists.
Right.
And these are the people looking at the tools we have now, which can spin up an entire app from a single sentence. And they're just saying, why learn to hammer a nail when a robot can build the whole house?
That's a good way to put it. They see it as learning long division by hand. A neat party trick, maybe, but useless.
And Steyn's point is that both of those views are wrong. Or at least, they're dangerously incomplete.
Dangerous how?
Because they mislead people about the economic reality, which is, well, it's pretty stark right now. We've got a report here from Reuters, August 2025, that talks about the boot camp bust.
The boot camp bust? That does not sound good.
It's a huge correction. For a decade, the promise was simple. Pay 15 grand, spend 12 weeks in a boot camp, and, walk into a 6-figure job.
And for a while, that worked.
It did. But that pipeline, it's clogged now. The Reuters data is really clear that the entry-level routes into development are tightening up a lot.
Okay, but why? I mean, companies still need software. We're all still using our apps. Why are the junior jobs the ones vanishing?
Well, think about it from a manager's perspective. I have a senior developer who understands architecture, who gets the big picture.
Okay.
I give that person these new AI tools, and suddenly they're 10 times more productive. They can do the work that 5 junior developers used to do, and probably in half the time.
So the AI is a force multiplier for the experts, but it's a replacement for the novices.
Yes, exactly. All that grunt work, writing the boilerplate code, fixing the simple bugs, that was how junior devs learned. It was their apprenticeship.
And the AI just does that now.
It just does it instantly. So companies look at the bottom line and say, why hire a junior who needs training when my senior dev plus an AI can do it all?
That is incredibly depressing. If you take away the bottom rung of the ladder, how does anyone start climbing?
That's the anxiety.
You can't become the senior dev if you can't get the entry-level job.
That's the fear. But Steyn argues it's not a death of the industry so much as a shift in the definition of the job.
A reframe.
A total reframe. If you think the job is typing code, then yeah, you're in trouble. But if the job is solving problems using technology, the demand is higher than ever.
This makes me think of that piece from Times Live we pulled, the one from South Africa. It's a great counterpoint to all the doom and gloom.
It's a fantastic counter-narrative. It's about a South African learn-to-code program that's getting all this global recognition. But here's the key.
They're not teaching kids to be code monkeys.
Not at all. They're teaching problem-solving. They use coding as a vehicle for teaching logic. Steyn makes this point about himself. He said learning to code was empowering not because he loved the syntax,
Right.
but because it taught him how to structure his thinking, how to break a huge, messy problem down into small, manageable steps.
Like Lego instructions.
Exactly like Lego instructions. And that skill decomposition, logic, that's valuable whether you're an engineer or a lawyer. That program is working because they get that syntax is temporary, but logic is permanent.
So the boot camp bust is really the market just shouting, we don't need people who can speak the computer's language anymore. The AI does that. We need people who know what to say.
Which brings us to, I think, the most mind-bending part of this whole thing. Steyn brings in Andrej Karpathy.
A true legend. OpenAI, Tesla. He's one of the architects of this whole world.
He is. And Business Insider just quoted him early this year, describing what he calls a phase shift. He says he is mostly programming in English now.
Programming and okay, let's sit with that for a second, because on the surface, that sounds amazing. It sounds democratic. Like, hey, I speak English. I guess I can be a programmer now.
And that's one side of the sword. The barrier to entry plummets.
Yeah.
But Karpathy admits something really vulnerable in that same quote. He says his own manual coding skills can atrophy.
Like a muscle you stop using. If you take the elevator everywhere, you forget how to climb stairs.
Perfect analogy. And that's the risk. This leads to the most critical distinction Steyn makes in his entire article, the difference between code and software.
Okay, lay this out for me, because to most people, those are the same thing.
Think of it this way. Code is the bricks. Software is the house.
Got it.
And AI is incredibly good at making bricks, perfect bricks, thousands a minute. You ask for a function to sort a list, it gives you a perfect brick of code.
Okay.
But software is the architecture. It's the blueprints, the plumbing, the wiring. It's knowing that you can't put the bathroom over there because the pipes will freeze.
Yeah.
It's about trade-offs, security, budgets, maintainability.
So the AI can stack up 1,000,000 bricks in 10 seconds, but it has no idea if the wall is load-bearing.
That doesn't even know what load-bearing is. It just predicts the next most likely brick. As Steyn says, the hardest part of the job is almost never writing the one little function. The hard part is understanding what the business actually needs.
It's anticipating all the weird edge cases.
Yes. What happens if the user puts an emoji in the credit card field? The AI doesn't think about that unless you tell it to.
So if the AI is laying the bricks, the human's job is to be the architect, the general contractor, and the building inspector all rolled into one.
Exactly.
But, and here's the catch, going back to Karpathy, if your skills have atrophied, can you actually inspect the bricks properly?
That's the danger zone. If you're just programming in English and you don't understand the underlying principles, you're just taking the machine's word for it. You're a building inspector who doesn't know what a crack in the foundation looks like.
And this isn't just some philosophical debate. This is a massive security problem. We've got that IT Pro report from October 2025. This one really scared me.
It should. They surveyed a bunch of security leaders. 1 in 5, 20%, had already suffered major security incidents that they linked directly to AI-generated code.
Wait, 1 in 5? How does that happen? Is the AI trying to be malicious?
No, rarely. It's more like confident incompetence. The AI will build you a login page that seems to work perfectly. You type in your password, you get in. Great. But maybe it used an old, outdated library with a known vulnerability. Or maybe it didn't sanitize the inputs correctly, leaving you open to an injection attack.
So someone could just type a line of code into the username box and hack your whole database.
That's the one. The AI leaves the front door unlocked because you didn't specifically tell it to install and check the deadbolt. And if you, the English programmer, can't read the code, you just ship it.
And I'm guessing the AI wrote it doesn't hold up in court when you've leaked 1,000,000 user records.
It is absolutely not a legal defense. It is a liability. You are accountable for the output, no matter what wrote it.
And then there's the Tom's Hardware report from December saying the AI tools themselves have vulnerabilities.
Which just creates this massive new attack surface. If you let an AI agent autonomously write and deploy code, you're opening up all these new back doors for attackers. It's a huge risk.
Okay, so the bootcamp model is broken. Relying solely on AI without deep knowledge is incredibly dangerous. So let's go back to Steyn's 12-year-old son at the kitchen table. What's the advice? What does his dad tell him to do?
Steyn calls his solution Coding Plus.
Coding Plus.
Okay.
Sounds like a streaming subscription.
It does, but it's really about flipping the old educational model on its head.
Yeah.
We used to rush kids into learning Python or JavaScript.
Right. Start typing.
Steyn says, no, stop. Before you touch a keyboard, you build the foundations that survive any hype cycle.
And what are those foundations?
Maths, writing, critical thinking, and soft skills.
Okay, hold on. Maths, I get. Critical thinking, sure. But writing. Are you really telling me that English class is the new computer science?
It sounds like a stretch, but then you remember what Karpathy said. We are programming in English.
Ah.
If your main way of talking to the machine is natural language, then your ability to be clear, precise, and logical with your words is your single most important coding tool.
So a sloppy writer is now a sloppy coder.
If you write a vague, ambiguous prompt, you will get vague, buggy, insecure code back. It's garbage in, garbage out. Writing is the new architecture.
That is a massive shift. What about the soft skills? That always sounds a bit like corporate fluff to me.
In this new world, it's a survival mechanism. It means curiosity, patience. It means being able to talk to other humans to figure out what the actual problem is that you're trying to solve.
The AI can't do that.
The AI cannot go interview a customer and understand their frustration. It can build a solution, but only a human can truly define the problem.
So the human becomes the bridge between the messy, emotional, real world and the cold, hard logic of the machine.
That is the job now.
So where does the actual coding come in? Does the kid ever learn Python?
They do. But it comes after those foundations are in place. Steyn says you introduce coding as a tool to make your logic real. You use it to build small things.
Like what?
Games are perfect for this. Or simple robotics, little apps, things where the cause and effect is immediate and visible.
Why is that visibility so important?
Because you need to see your logic succeed or fail right there on the screen. If you mess up a loop in a game, your little character just runs into a wall over and over. You see the bug.
You get that instant feedback loop.
And that teaches you how the machine thinks. It demystifies it. It keeps those atrophy skills from, well, atrophying. You're not just asking the AI to make me a game. You're building the engine yourself so you understand how it works.
And what's the role of AI in that learning process?
Steyn is very clear about this. You don't ban it. You treat AI as a tutor and a co-pilot.
So you don't block ChatGPT on the school Wi-Fi?
No, you encourage kids to use it. Hey, AI, can you explain this error message to me like I'm 5? Or why did my character run into the wall? You use it to learn, debug, to challenge your ideas. You just don't let it do the actual thinking for you.
It's the difference between using a GPS to help you navigate versus being asleep in the back of a self-driving car.
You have to stay awake at the wheel.
Okay, so let's try to pull this all together. The market for people who just, translate ideas into syntax, that's drying up fast.
That job is gone. Yeah.
The very definition of what coding is shifting away from memorizing languages and towards systems thinking.
Right. That's the big lesson from the South Africa story and from Karpathy. It's a higher level skill.
And just blindly trusting AI to do the work is a security and liability nightmare waiting to happen.
It demands more from the human in the loop, not less.
I think Steyn's closing argument about the systems thinker really sums it all up.
It does. He says, the race to see who can memorize syntax the fastest. That's over. The machine won. The real advantage now belongs to the child who can reason clearly, communicate precisely, and this is the big one, take responsibility for the final outcome.
Take responsibility for outcomes. That's heavy. The AI doesn't go to jail if the code crashes the power grid?
The human does. The coding becomes a tool, but judgment, ethics, accountability, those are the skills that matter. They're what allow you to work with any machine now or in the future without just handing over control.
It just completely changes how you look at those learn-to-code games. It's not about getting the high score. It's about understanding the system well enough to know when it's lying to you.
It's about understanding the world.
So here's the thought I want to leave you with. We spend so much time focused on the answers that code gives us, on the output. But if the future is really about judgment and accountability, are we focusing too much on the computer's answers and not nearly enough on the quality of the questions our kids are asking it?
That's the literacy we really need to solve for.
Thanks for diving in with us. I think I need to go have a talk with my laptop about who's in charge here. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.
Keep asking questions.